Hello and welcome back, Realty Pros. We are here for another Thursday Realty Talk. And with that being said, we are going to continue on in our Realty Talk with establishing your presence and solidifying your position. And Mrs. Porter is here to continue that training and discussion. And so we are glad to have you, Ms. Porter. We appreciate you taking the time out and doing this to provide us with the information that we need so that we can be solidified in our position. So thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Anita. Good afternoon, everybody. We are so excited to have you guys with us. Let me tell you, I am still on fire from that kickoff meeting on Monday. If you're still on fire from that kickoff meeting, I want to see you put a thumbs up, a clap, a party popper, take yourself off mute, give me a me too or something, because when I tell you all the energy that I've received from you guys, calls, texts, and all the testimonials and just words after that office meeting, I am so excited. So I just want to let you guys know we want to take that same energy and keep that energy throughout the year. And there are quite a number of things that we're going to do to make sure that you guys are able to do so. Can you hear me clearly? Excellent. So we're ecstatic. I'm happy to see everybody online. That shows that you guys are valuing everything that you want to do in real estate for this year. And it's crucial that you carve out this time to be a part of everything that's going on. We talked about being planted so that you guys can be nourished and flourish in everything that's going on in the midst of this market. You heard Anita say it best. We are solidifying our position. So we're establishing our presence and we're solidifying our position in real estate, guys. One of the things that we talked about when we had our $1 million mindset training, for those of you who were able to participate or those that have been able to look at the video afterwards, we talked about a key concept that we established I've established it for quite a while, and quite a number of you have learned how to do so as well. But I'm excited because we have a couple people on the line with us who were a part of some of the things that we've done just to model what that looks like. And that's from the perspective of establishing key accounts. Do you guys remember the training we had a couple weeks back when we were talking about $1 million prospecting and establishing key accounts and being intentional to have networking events and for you to go out and be amidst the community and all of those things? If you guys remember that, then drop a 1 in the chat, put a thumbs up, let me know you remember what it was that we taught in that training. And then for those of you that are on the line, don't be surprised. I'm going to call on you. We have Talitha on the line and we have Jennifer on the line as well. Porterhouse had an opportunity last weekend to partner with Bishop McNamara High School, and they had a business expo over there at Bishop McNamara High School, and all of the parents or their former, their alumni were able to come together in a very big setting and share their businesses and network and get leads and things all within that space. And I was really excited because both Jennifer and Talitha, of course, Mr. Porter, but for Jennifer and Talitha, it was their first type of prospecting event of that sort. So I want to hear a couple words from Jennifer, and then I want to hear a couple words from Talitha. I know you're dual career and you're chiming in on your lunch break. If you can, I want you to share with the group what your experience was like, starting with Jennifer.
It was very interesting. Hi, everybody. And I really enjoyed it. I didn't think it was going to be what it was. It was a lot of businesses there. We're able to communicate, talk to the different businesses and give them our information. And I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Outstanding. Talitha, give us some insight. Tell us what your experience was like.
I also enjoyed it. I've never been to anything like that, but after being able to walk around and share, information with the other businesses, it was very, very nice. And we got to hand out our cards and, receive information from the other businesses. And I enjoyed it a lot.
Outstanding. So one of the things that we talked about was establishing key accounts. So when you hear us talking about businesses, yes, of course, businesses, you know, the owners need to be homeowners and they have properties that they need to sell. Forgive me, I'd be remiss if I didn't give you a chance to speak, Mr. Porter. Go ahead.
I was about to say, Miss Broker Lady. I was there. I didn't come in the beginning, but it was like I said, they did an outstanding job. You know, let me say this, guys, real quick. I've been to a ton of things, business opportunities like that, where sometimes you go there and you might be the only table. There's nobody else there. There's been some that have been way larger than this particular venue. But no matter what the situation is, you want to have two people to work together at least. One to man the table and the other person to walk around and engage all the other businesses and think. You have to think outside the box. How can I engage this business person? What opportunities can I afford them in real estate, and how could their business be of service to me? Because it's always that mutual relationship that gets you that client. And so it gives you an opportunity to just go and talk. And what Jasmine will tell you that I was recruiting all the other real estate companies to become Porterhouse. I said, how many clients? I mean, how many agents do you have? What systems do you use? I'm getting in their business. Well, yeah, we need a presence out where your office is located. But, you know, how can I, you know, how about we take you out to guys' lunch or whatever? That's where I am. But for other organizations that might have been there, I'm looking for ways to leverage what they have to offer. If they're a marketing company, I might purchase some marketing materials from them, and I might say, hey, by the way, what are your real estate goals for this year? I would love to be your real estate agent for life. So those are the opportunities. And then we encourage a lot of other people that, hey, you might want to take a real estate license. You're selling cookies, but you know, your commission on each cookie might be $2 or $3. You know, you can take that same amount of energy and the same amount of sales panache that you have, and you can come over here where your return on investment might be $10,000 or so. And so that's attractive, and I send them the links. You have to be prepared. That's what I was talking about, working on your business, being prepared, having those links and thinking about opportunities. Because what business is all about is you selling yourself. And you're selling people the dream, the vision of owning real estate and coming alongside of you or recruiting them if they're a real estate agent. Whatever opportunities you can, make those connections. It's really about making connections and getting their information and then putting them on a campaign so they don't forget about you and they see you all the time. And I know people put me on campaigns, and I'm starting to get some of their materials. But we got all of their information. We put them in a raffle, and we was giving away just a $25 gift card, you know, and something as simple as that. You know, the opportunity to get a gift card, people signed up. People gave us their name, their email, their telephone number. Those are all leads. Now we're putting them in the drip campaign. We announced the winner of the raffle. We say congratulations. And now that you've opted in to our constant contact, I got all their contacts forever. So those are the opportunities that we're talking about. You have to take advantage of every opportunity if you're going to be successful in this business. That's all I wanted to say.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Mr. Porter. Everything that we're talking about, it goes hand in hand with establishing your presence and solidifying your position, guys. We talked about this, and you are going to hear this theme throughout the year because that is exactly what we're doing in 2023 as a brokerage. We talked about before $1 million mindset. So from the perspective of knowing that all things are possible, the daily affirmations that we went over, that's something that you guys, I really want you to continue, if hopefully throughout life, but especially within this season, because you got to know that all things are possible to you. You want to keep yourself in a positive mindset. I heard a wise person say before, success leaves clues, and you don't have to invent the wheel. There's certain things that very successful people do that if you want to be successful, you're just going to have to, whether you understand it or not, or agree with it or not, you're just going to have to do it so as to be able to get what you came to get out of real estate. Okay, so from in this season. We talked about doing what it is that you said you're going to do with no excuses. And I'll say that again, doing what it is that you said you're going to do with no excuses, because real estate can fund every area of your life. And Mr. Porter said it so well when we were at that business expo. We had so many business owners, and they had very nice, reputable businesses, and in their business, their commission may have been very nominal in comparison to what they could get out of real estate when you put that same level of energy and that same level of intensity, that same level of diligence and persisting no matter what the circumstances look like. And we want to make sure that that's exactly what we do in real estate. We put that same level of diligence, that same level of energy and persistence, no matter what it looks like in this market, because you got into real estate because you had a dream. You had a dream of being successful, of having financial freedom, of having legacy wealth, of having nice vacations, and all of these things and so much more. And it is knocking at your door, but you got to be the one to just go forward full speed and go get what you said you were going to get out of real estate. Okay, so we're talking about establishing these key accounts. I gave you guys who were in that $1 million prospecting training. I gave you guys some background about my background for before real estate. So BR, before real estate and pharmaceutical sales, and how intentional we have to be in going around to various businesses and establishing those key accounts. A key account, we went through all of that, and I can, you guys can replay that video. We'll touch on that information a little bit more in a later training, but just for the sake of a brief overview, establishing a key account can be very much somebody who is an attorney, someone who's a, financial advisor, someone who's a divorce attorney, someone, who's a probate attorney, someone who is a lender, someone who helps people to do renovations that look to sell their homes, someone who's doing maybe premarital or, counseling because they know the partners are about to get married and they're going to need to buy a house. So we really want to expand your thinking. So when you think about your real estate business, you realize how many opportunities are afforded to you on a daily basis, and you're intentional about searching these things out. So at that business expo, some would say, well, what do I need with them? They have businesses. They're not looking to buy homes, but there's so many layers of business in that, because each and every last one of them have a mindset of financial responsibility. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a business owner. Doesn't mean that they do everything perfectly, but they have a mindset about managing their finances so that they can have a comfortable future. And if that's the case, then we all know that in America, real estate is the bedrock of that. So they would need to buy, or they have a home. Most of them are already going to be homeowners. They'll need to sell. And very many of them, we had the opportunity to have a conversation about a real estate portfolio. And that's something that we really want you guys to adopt, the terms real estate portfolio, because for homeowners who already have their own home, you want to make sure that the conversation doesn't lead with, well, okay, you already have a home, so you don't need my services. So then the question, the follow-up to that becomes, oh, that's great. So what are your plans for your real estate portfolio? What does your investment look like? Because the property that you're living in, that's great, but now let's get a property that's going to pay for that property. Let's get another property that's going to pay for everything else that it is that you want to do in your life so that you have financial freedom. Okay? So from that perspective, let's be intentional about having these conversations with as many account holders as possible. And that means you guys getting out, you guys take the time, you do your research, you can calibrate or calculate everybody within a certain area, especially in the places that we work. These are office parks where there's so many different businesses around here, guys. They're tax preparers, they're lawyers, they're accountants, they're lenders. Pretty much every type of business that you can imagine is over here in these office parks that are connected within a couple blocks radius. So if you simply be intentional about taking a look to see what's already in your hands, you're going to realize that you have far more than enough to do what it is that you need to do. And I want to just elaborate on that, because there's so many, as we talked about before, obstacles that can and will arise, but you got to be intentional to know that the obstacles shouldn't take you by surprise. They are going to come up. And when they do, you need to be prepared to find 2 to 3 solutions for them, right? One person can look at a cup and it'll have a half cup of, nice cold water on a hot day. Another person look at the cup and say, I only have a half cup. And you know what that means. One person says the cup is half full, one says it's half empty. Well, at Porterhouse, we believe in the overflow. So not only if you only have a small amount, then we know that you have more than enough. Whatever you have in your hands is where you're going to start. And that's the seed that you'll use to get to where you need to be. If you have a phone, Mr. Porter said it, any person you talk to is a lead. They're a prospect. There's somebody that will at some point need your services or know somebody else that needs your services. So we need to be absolutely intentional and be looking around for these opportunities to make these connections with people, guys. Okay. So as we move throughout this year, there are various challenges. Each month has its own challenge, and kudos to everybody who successfully completed January. We're officially in February now. Very special month. January was great too. We had so many different birthdays in January. February is a wonderful, special month in our family. We have so many birthdays in February also. So this is going to be an exciting time for Mr. Porter, especially. I see you took yourself off
to you guys. I'm gonna need you guys to sell everything that you have in February. The broker's birthday month, in case you didn't know. It's not the Facebook birthday unless you fixed it. I think everybody thinks it's on the Facebook birthday, which was the wrong birthday.
I removed
Her
it.
birthday is on it's on the 24th. I'm just throwing it out there. Help the brother. Anyway, that being said, guys, Jasmine said something. She said it's in your hand, and I want to go a little further. More importantly, it's in your mouth. You have to have something to say about your business. Everybody, Lottie Dottie, and everybody should know that you're a real estate agent. Everybody. You have to talk about the business that you do, and you have to talk about it so much that people can't forget. Because people will use the excuse, I forgot, or, I went with somebody else. But you have to use your mouth. And some of you want to still be secret agents. We don't have secret agents at Porterhouse. This is not the CIA. This is not the Secret Service. This is real estate. Tell everybody about what you do. Talk about what you do and have some talking points. I just spent an hour talking to a guy who was getting coffee about what to do in real estate. At the end of the day, he said, can you send me the link? I think I want to sign up and become a real estate agent. So use your mouth. You don't even need anything in your hands sometimes. Use your mouth. Of course, I shot him my business card, and then on the way out, he was telling the lady, that's a real estate agent. You need to get him. And the lady got my card too. So now he's bragging about me. That's a wonderful thing. Word of mouth. But you have to use your mouth in order to build the reputation so that people then begin to give you word of mouth referrals. And many of you are quiet. You got to come out of that shell. There's really nothing you can do to transfer this information without using your mouth. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Porter. We tell you guys all the time when we began in this real estate endeavor, we had our mouths, we had our phones, and we had business cards. And that was it. And everything that we accomplished, we did with our mouths, because that is your biggest sales piece. Everywhere you go, you can talk to people, be intentional about starting conversations. You can compliment people. You can do one of the things we used to do. We would just pay for things for people. If we're at a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or wherever we are, you just pay for something for somebody. It may be a $2 coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. It's not that inexpensive anymore. However, whatever that looks like for you, be intentional about starting a conversation, just befriending people and talking about real estate, because you would be surprised at the amount of leads that you are going to come into every single day. So as we move throughout this year, by the end of this year, nobody should have business cards left. When you started with Porterhouse, we gave you 2,500. And if you still have anywhere close to that, this is your year to get rid of all of them. You should be reordering business cards every single year. That number that we gave to you guys was also intentional, because we know that if you give away your 7 to 10 business cards every single day, that's a 6-figure income in your box. And it didn't cost you a dime. It cost us an investment. And if you just take it and plant those seeds in the hands of people everywhere you go, then there's a 6-figure income just in your box alone. So no matter where you are in terms of your financial progress at this point, there are no excuses for why you can't do what it is that we're telling you guys to do, because we promise you, we want to see you as millionaires. Mr. Porter talks about that all the time. And if you do these things, then you will succeed. But we want to make sure that you're doing them consistently and diligently, even in the face of adversity. And when you have to sow before you see that harvest, just continue to do so. And at the end of the road, you will absolutely see the progress. And we have testimony after testimony after testimony, people who started. And when they started, it was a slow start and they wanted to quit, but they didn't quit, and they continued and they continued. And now they're seeing all of the seeds that they've sown. They're just coming back. Their pipeline is bustling, and clients and all of these things. So that is the road that we're on in real estate. In real estate, you are a business owner. So this is not a business that you come to and you sit down and all the real estate business falls into your lap. And I think maybe that needs to be a part of real estate school, because in this industry, it's as if people get a real estate license and they think, okay, I'm licensed now, so everybody's going to come to me and say, you are the real estate agent. You've got to go get it. You gotta have hustle, right? We have shirts that says real estate is my hustle. And what Mr. Porter and I are talking about is making real estate your hustle by being intentional to give business cards and conversation to everybody that you go everywhere. So when they think real estate, they think, oh, I already know who I'm going to call. I'm going to call Aurelia. Every time I talk to her, she reminds me that she's a real estate professional. I already know who I'm going to talk to. I'm going to talk to Talita. But you want to make sure that you're top of mind and you're not a secret agent in that regard. Okay, so no excuses. When you come to us or you come to one of your colleagues, we want you guys to further encourage each other. And when somebody comes to you with a challenge, you want to say, okay, that's the challenge. That's reasonable. Now, what are some solutions? Think through it, brainstorm. Let's have a think tank, because there have to be, if all things are possible, and they are, then there are multiple solutions to any challenge that you could ever face. Not only that, there are people who have overcome those challenges so many times before you. So that means that there's nothing that you can't do and you can't overcome either. So just keep moving forward. Okay. So for the month of January, many of you have established your business. You've done the LLC like Mr. Porter has instructed, did a couple weeks on that series. And that was some tremendous information there, helped you to establish your business credit, and you guys be accountable. You have accountability partners. You have us, you have the whole brokerage. Send your success stories. Once you get your business established, you establish your first business credit card or your first business line of credit, follow up with us. Let us know where you are, because we want to help to continue to push you forward so that you can get everything that you came looking for out of this real estate business. Mr. Porter talked about using your business credit cards with intentionality, because everything there is a write-off. So you're paying your dues with it. You're paying your brokerage expenses, your marketing expenses, your lunch and your driving and all of those things with it. So let's be intentional, and because we're moving forward to another month, I don't want for us to lose the lessons that were instilled in this month. Let's take these, let's establish them, let's solidify them, and let's build on top of those as we progress. Okay. February, setting up your constant contact campaigns for the whole year. So this month, by the end of this month, 2 things should be completed. Every Porterhouse agent, you should have your campaigns and all of your contacts within constant contact, so that every single holiday and every month for a monthly newsletter, if you want to add something that will go out every 2 weeks, that's fine. But there needs to be a minimum of 33 touches for the year. And you want to establish that so that it's going out while you're asleep, while you're working, while you're on vacation, while you're in training, whatever that looks like, you should still remain top of mind for people. Because when we talk about your book of business, you convert your contacts to your book of business by intentionally adding them into a place where you're going to market to them and where they'll be able to see your face, whether you're in front of them or not. So let's set up those campaigns in constant contact. Miss Pat, she's our specialist. She's our expert, the team lead in that regard. She did a tremendous training a couple months back, and she'll be on the schedule to do another one. And we'll do a boot camp with that as well to make sure that everybody has the resources and support that you need. But it's very user-friendly and constant contact. We have hundreds of campaigns in there. So there's no reason that you can't just go in there, copy a campaign, customize it to make sure it has all of your beautiful faces and your telephone numbers and your social media handles and things of that nature, okay? Another thing is going to be cold calling multi-million dollar listings. That's the challenge for this month, all right? All things are possible. You can sell $1 million, $2 million, $10 million house just as well as you can sell a $200,000 house. And when I tell you, the process gets easier. So when you said the more expensive the real estate is, the easier the process is for you. There's certain price points that are very challenging in terms of the things that maybe the buyers or the sellers in that price point, there's certain things that they're facing because of where they are in that price point that you don't even have to deal with when you're at a higher price point, okay? So what am I saying? Of course, we service everybody with the level of excellence, but I want to take the fear off. I want to take the level of, oh, I can't, or, you know, I haven't before, I don't know, or the uncertainty. Let's go get it. Let's move forward and prospect those $1 million listings. All right. I'm just going to flow through the rest of the year so that you guys have a vision for what's coming down the pipeline for 2023, and you can go ahead and set yourselves accordingly. March, the mailer madness. So March mailer madness, we're talking about sending out those mailers, guys. Everybody in your farm area should receive mailers from you guys. I'm excited to see that some of you are already ordering your door knockers, and some of you have your campaigns with your expired listing campaigns and your letters and things of that nature. This is a very intentional act that has to be nurtured. So when we're talking about farming, we're talking about a multi-pronged approach where you are reaching out to the people in your farm area. You're sending out mailers, you're doing your door knocks, you're asking them if they want comparative market analysis, you're introducing yourselves, you're sending out those love letters, and you're in those areas shopping. So you're in the Starbucks over there, or you're in the Wegmans or the Giant over there, or whatever that looks like, but those people need to see you in the midst of your farm area. That's what March looks like. For April, home buyer seminars, guys. We need to have a home buyer seminar. There should be one maybe every weekend, unless Easter is that weekend, but I haven't looked to see which day Easter is. So don't hold me to that, but you get the idea. You get the idea in April. Let's make sure that there are home buyer seminars. I'm talking about in-person seminars at the office, at libraries, virtually. You know, Angela had an idea at a firehouse, absolutely. And new build homes and model homes, anywhere that you can think of doing a home buyer seminar, we should be doing them. Spring is the time where people like to shop for houses, relocate, put properties on the market. And we need to make sure that we're intentional about providing information so that people overcome the fear of what it is that they're seeing on the news and in the media, because we know we have facts in real estate. The interest rates are not high. They're not even at the historical average. The historical average for interest rates is about 7.76%. We're actually under that. So we've got to educate people as to what that looks like, because rents have gone up about 14 to 17% in this last year. So for people that are paying rent, their rent has gone up astronomically as well, and they don't get a dime back in their taxes for paying the rent. So if you're going to pay high rent anyway, you may as well roll that over into a mortgage and see how much you can be pre-approved for the same amount that you're paying for rent. Okay. And we know something that we teach. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to say before you go any further that, you know, Jasmine just said a mouthful, guys. And I'm really proud of our agents who are ordering door hangers and things. And think about this. For about the door hangers, you get 1,000 door hangers for about $270. If my math is correct, that's about 27 cents per door hanger. If my math is correct, okay? If you get one person to call you back and say, I want to list my home off a 27-cent door hanger that you can use from now until eternity, it's worth it. You got a box of them, you invested. I'm gonna say not paid. You invested $270 in your business, and you get a house. Say for instance, the house is only $200,000. At 3.5% commission, you still are gonna make about close to $9,000. So you got to think about it in terms of your return on investment for the marketing that you're doing. That's one thing that Jasmine said. So invest in yourself, guys. Again, all of those things are write-offs. Okay, and put them on your business credit card, and it doesn't impact your personal credit. Put them on your business credit and credit card, and then once you get that deal, you pay it off. You pay the deal, you pay the business, you pay the credit card off, you pay off the marketing, etc. Then she talked about where to do open houses. I love Angela's idea of doing it at a firehouse. You can do it at a police station. You can do it at a school. I know an agent, I think he's online. He was agent of the year a couple of years in a row. He did one at a school, and I attended it. And I think it was more of us than it was participants. But if he comes off a mute and gives a testimony, I think he'll tell you that it was well worth it. Is Curtis on the line? Can he talk?
Yeah.
Go, Curtis. Tell him what happened, Curtis. How many people actually showed up at that first school-based open house that your daughter actually pulled together?
Yeah, pretty much. So we actually, I partnered with Anastasia, and we hosted a basically, you know, a home buyer consultation, not consultation, excuse me, but an event for the school
Seminar.
expo. Yeah. And a few people came out. It wasn't packed. There was, I think, like 3 different like sets of couples, but there was one, 2 sisters in particular, and we ended up working with them. They, you know, we became the realtor, and we helped find their new house, you know, so we closed the deal, and that was all probably within, I'd say, give or take, you know, getting them pre-approved and actually finding the home, probably within a 3-month, you know, time frame. They were under contract and then closed. So, you know, at first it was kind of a little, you know, you would want more people there, but, you know, I would always reflect back on what Shay and Jasmine told us about their first event, where hardly nobody showed. But at the end of the day, guys, you just need one person. You know, you need one client that's going to sign up with you as their agent, and then you get to work and close the deal. So it was a huge success. Really took maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours out of an evening, and bam, you know, we got a client. So definitely highly recommend. Yeah.
And we had a good time. And let me tell
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys, you gotta always think, you gotta think about it like this. Curtis said it, and we're gonna keep saying it to you guys. I want everybody to put in the chat, just one. Just one. That's how I think about any opportunity that I get. If I just get one sale, it's worth it. Doesn't matter. If I have to invest $5,000 into a marketing campaign and it gives me just one, the return on investment is not that big, but I still got one that closed. If I can just get one that closed from a $5,000 investment, or I can get just one to close from a 27-cent investment. If I can get just one to close from a 2-hour investment of my time that doesn't really cost me anything, but to show up and maybe bring some snacks or something and to talk to people and pass out some marketing material or my business card, or just to let people know that I'm here and I'm available. All I need is just one. And those just ones add up. Next thing you know, you'll be closing 10 deals and 12 deals in a year, and then you can double that. You can say, you know, I want to do 2 a month. I want to do 3 a month. But you have to just invest more time, more 27 cents, more 5,000, whatever it is you do, it has to become your thing. But all I need is just one. I love it when I get 2. I love it when I get 10. But I'm only looking for just one. Okay, Jasmine, you can have it back. I'm sorry. I went off the deep end.
No, that was great insight. And I will piggyback on that. If any marketing endeavor that you do is an investment into your real estate career. And just like Mr. Porter said, if you get just one, then it was well worth it, because guess what? Now you doubled your income. You made an investment and it doubled. Okay, probably more than double. Could in some instances it's going to grow so many fold, especially like what Mr. Porter was talking about with the door hangers. If it's $270 and you get 1,000, if you get one back out of that with the average commission, you guys know if you're 80%, you're taking home $10,000. You know how many times that has doubled and tripled and quadrupled and all those things. So it is well worth the investment. So let's just think about all the opportunities and the abundance that is in front of you, and be intentional about making that investment into your real estate business. Okay. That's for home buyer seminars. So back to that, we should be having home buyer seminars everywhere. Anywhere there is a place, there should be space for a Porterhouse home buyer seminar this coming spring. And we want to make sure that you guys schedule those intentionally throughout the year. So each person, you should be doing at least 4 of those this year. I'm not going to get to a point where I'm going to say every month, just yet. And I hope you hear that, just yet. But once a quarter, you guys should be doing these. And I don't mean individually. That should be a group collective effort. We're going to the point where there should be one every single month. Okay, we're going to the month.
This year. We're not waiting now.
Okay, Mr. Porter.
Let's do it now. I'm with
you. Well, let's do it now. We'll see, the way that I see it, and Mr. Porter, you can let me make sure that I'm on point with that. The way that I see it is, if you have everybody doing at least one a quarter, then you have them every week. Just about. When you consider all of the agents that we have, if you have everybody to commit to making sure that there's one once a quarter, we have them on a monthly basis. We have them on a consistent and ongoing basis. And from that perspective, Mr. Porter says something that was essential about the business networking event we did. It's not a one-man show, right? Everything that we do, we should be doing together as a family, as a team, with your accountability partners, with whomever it is that is interested in working with you. Because guess what? Every person together is going to make that group stronger and better. You have talents that are varied, that are going to add to the pot. You'll be able to service so many other people. You'll be able to provide a much higher level of service. So we're coming together to make sure that these events happen as often as possible, guys, because there's so much misinformation that buyers have that needs to be met with actual insight and information that's going to progress them to where it is that they need to be. Because from this perspective, you are like a knight in shining armor. If you pull somebody out of paying $2,600 in rent to paying $3,000 in a mortgage, you've just saved them so much money. It's ridiculous, even if it looks different from the standpoint of a monthly payment. Mr. Porter, you had something right there?
Yeah. So, and with your open houses, guys, remember, don't say, you can say it's open to everybody. Those have been the ones that we kind of didn't get as much participation. But if I say teachers only, now people are going to come because they're like, well, you ain't going to exclude me. If I say Metro bus drivers only, I'm going to get some train operators and some other people from Metro, but they're like, well, why the bus drivers get to know the secrets? If I say police only, people from the police station that are not police officers that work behind the desk, and the ladies that take, they're going to want to come. And they'll be the ones that spread the news. Why come it's only police officers? Secrets that police officers need to know and how to get into real estate. The good neighbor next door program. Secrets that firefighters need to know. Secrets in real estate. Secrets that teachers need to know. Secrets in real estate. If you're a Metro bus driver, you should have a home at the end of the day. Secrets that Metro bus drivers need to know. Metro bus only.
Thank you for bringing that up.
And then you can have it. Yeah. Go ahead, Jasmine. So those are the ways you target. You don't have to target everybody, because then there's nothing special. But if it's just me, if it's just the Trans Am Club, the people that own Corvettes are going to come. Go ahead, Jasmine.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. When we're talking about these home buyer seminars, guys, we have had a great deal of success in doing that. When I tell you we may have started out with 3 people at our first home buyer seminar, but we've had upwards of 80 something people at our home buyer seminars as well. And Mr. Porter is hitting the nail on the head. When I talk about accounts, we want to make sure that you guys understand this concept and the intentionality behind it, because we've done everything from Metro, we've done everything from UPS to police to teachers and all of these things. We've even done the government workers over at the Census Bureau. So when you target those specific audiences like that,
Starbucks managers.
Starbucks managers. So
Starbucks managers.
Absolutely. Think like that when you're planning these home buyer seminars, so that you go down your calendar and you say, okay, well, this month we're doing, Metro bus only. This month we're doing the police officer. This month we're doing military. This month we're doing this group of people and so forth and so on. Those are key accounts, because guess what? Now you have a captive audience, and everybody who wears that name, title, badge, or that particular field, now you're going to pique their interest, and they're going to want to know what it is that that's going to be a direct benefit to them. So thank you so much for just reminding me to share that with everybody and for giving that insight. That is what your home buyer seminar should look like. First time home buyer is not the only title. Okay. Many of our buyers that come to these programs or seminars, they're repeat home buyers. So it is not the only title for the first time home buyer. Let's think outside of the box as it pertains to those seminars and expos. Okay. Then we're going into the pre-approved buyer and leads challenge in that month of April. And just know that, of course, that is very intentional. You're coming out of those home buyer seminars. I see you guys are putting that just one in the chat. You get it. If you get just one out of it, then it's well worth that time. But after you're coming out of those home buyer seminars, you're going to have a pre-approved buyers challenge and a leads challenge, because just like we did at this business expo, you guys are going to have so many leads as a direct result of what you did for that one-day event, that you guys are going to have tons of people now to add to your book of business, and everything that you do, you're going to be able to market to those people in the future. And because you will have already established a culture where they know you now, they like you because of your wonderful personality, and they're going to trust you because you're going to give them professional insight. Now you have a prospect that's going to be looking to work with you in the future or now. So let's be intentional about doing that, guys. Okay. Open houses, open house challenge. What we want to see for you guys, when we get a porterhouse listing, there should be an open house. If you can schedule one and you get your clients to agree, there's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where there's an open house daily until you get a ratified contract and a backup offer. Okay. That does not mean that you have to do every day. We're talking about everything being done together as a family with Porterhouse, and you guys have Porterhouse family members that would love to help you host open houses, can manage, and man the open house on days that you may or may not be available. But think about how powerful that is to be able to offer that type of support, marketing, and networking to your seller, and your seller say, oh my gosh, I listed with, Aurelia, and now I got this whole, group of support, and they're doing all of this marketing for my property. I want to list with her every time, and let me do a Facebook Live and tell all of my friends about how dynamic a job she's doing for me. So let's just think outside of the box in everything that we're doing there. Okay. And as a direct result from that, you'll see how it flows directly into the mid-year listing challenge, because you guys will have buyers on in, you'll have listings on in when you do the things that we're teaching you to do at this time. Okay. I'm going to get through the next few months, and then I'll open it up to you guys. I am paying attention to at least the time for this portion of it. Then we'll go into discussions. All right. So Summer Madness, closings. With the formula that we have laid out for you guys, take hold of it, and you will have closings. You will build your pipeline. You will have buyer leads and seller leads. It doesn't matter what other people are seeing. You guys are going to see great success when you grab hold of this and walk it out. Okay. And then we're going to go back through those open house challenges, because you will have gotten a number of listings, and the ones that were not yet available or ready to come on the market, now they're going to come on the market. And I want to just give you guys the formula that we laid out for those open houses, for those who may not have been part of the training series that we did a couple months back. But for your open house, it's a 3-part series. In that, with your open houses, you have the virtual component of your open house. Let's just say by chance you have an open house scheduled from 12 to 4. From 12 to 12:30, you should be doing a live where you've already marketed on each one of your social media platforms that you're doing a virtual open house and you're going live at 12 o'clock on that day. So from 12 to 12:30, you're hosting that live and you're drawing in all of that virtual audience so that you can get those leads and prospects from online, because we know that that's an unlimited resource. From 1 until 2, you should be doing a VIP, neighbors only, for all the prospects in that community. You should have been out in that community for 2 to 3 days before then, door knocking, introducing, inviting, establishing a rapport, and making sure they all have invitations to this VIP section of the open house that's just for the people within that community. That last 2 hours from 2 to 4, that's what that looks like, the public open house, meaning that all buyers are able to come to the house. Whether they have an agent or they don't have an agent, they're able to come to that house. And that's how you're going to maximize that 4-hour time block for your open house. And you're reaching 3 different but very intentional audiences so that you can bring the maximum exposure and awareness to your open house. Okay, there's so much more that goes along with that, but for now, I will leave that be and move right on to, what month are we going to? September.
I gotta say, okay, while you going to September, before you go to September, listen, guys, when you go to this open houses, really, Jasmine said intentional audiences. One audience, the first group of audiences is the people that are coming that are neighbors. You want to give them free analysis of their house's worth, because that next door neighbor then wants to sell their house with you. Okay, the second group of people that comes in there are buyers. Okay, and they might come without an agent. You want to get their information because you want to become their buyer's agent. You want to put them on your website. You want Boomtown to start working on them, and you want to put them on the drip campaign. And the third, and don't forget, to me, one of the most important aspects is the other real estate agents that need to learn about what Porterhouse can offer them, so that you can recruit them, make them members of your team, and you can get a $300 bonus when they sign, and you can start getting $300, $400, or $500 per closed sale side. That's what I wanted to say. I'm done, Jasmine.
Well, since you're still on the open houses, I'm going to give at least one more nugget. And of course, we'll go back through these with all the trainings that we'll have between now and then. Nevertheless, for your open houses, guys, Facebook has a tremendous platform where you can go on there, you can target a specific radius. And if I were you, I would go out, depending on how rural or if it's a city area, if it's rural, I would go out 5 miles out. Go on there, do a radius of 5 miles out, and you plug in whatever you have, it may be $30 or $40 for that particular time that you're marketing on Facebook to everybody in that radius. They should be seeing your open house. They should know what it is that you're doing. When you schedule your virtual, your live open house, you're putting that out 2 weeks in advance. You're putting that out a week in advance. It's going on all of your virtual platforms. So people know that there's going to be a virtual open house on that day at that time. Boost that as well so that you can get the maximum participation. And when your sellers see how many people you draw in from each one of these platforms, they are going to say, wow, what is my agent doing? This agent is taking it to the next level. Okay. So as it pertains
Call
to yes.
Call Marcus King and call Real Estate Maggie and get them to teach you how to do your social media videos and posts so you'll get used to it the first time. And if I were you, just out of love, give them a little something when you sell the house, just to say thank you. But they'll do it for you. They'll help you. They'll teach you. But it's definitely worth it so that you not only boost that post, you can have something that looks really attractive that you know how to do from now on. It's invaluable.
And Mr. Porter, you are a step ahead, so you're right on target. And I know that Anita is on the line, so she will let us know if it is confirmed just yet. But we have our social media boot camp coming up. So this month, the 3rd Saturday of the month, we're awaiting a confirmation. I'm just going to claim that it is so. And our social media Amen. Well, there you go. Our social media boot camp is coming up the third Saturday of this month. So that's from 9 until noon. We have Maggie and Marcus that are going to be hosting that. And the intention behind that is for all of the Porterhouse listings. So those that are coming soon, those that are active, those have an open house, those are in the contract, and those that have just sold. You guys that come into that social media boot camp, they're going to be teaching you how to develop the content and do reels. And you guys are going to have live social media videos and everything when you leave on that day from all of the listings or whichever ones you choose from under the Porterhouse umbrella. And when you do your open houses and when you do everything that Mr. Porter's talking about, you want to make sure that you're posting those so that people can see what it is that you're doing.
Also,
Okay.
Ms. Porter, I apologize.
Yes.
Maggie asked a question in the chat.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Maggie, you can come off mute if you need to. All right, I see a couple people.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Maggie.
My question is, are we able to have open house, an open house at any Porterhouse listing?
Yes, you are. So you want to coordinate with the listing agent for that property. That's the flow. Okay. So when you coordinate to make sure that that's not a weekend that the listing agent had one, and if it is, then you join with the listing agent and you guys do it there. But you can definitely have open houses because it's a benefit to, if you bring in a buyer to the listing agent, guess what? Both of you just got a commission. If you bring in more attention to that property, guess what? You're making the listing agent look like a rock star because now the seller is gonna want to tell everybody about the listing agent and all of their friends and family, because guess what? Now they see this team approach where everybody's working together to get their property sold. So let's coordinate it so that that is a concerted effort and everything moves smoothly in that regard. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You got it. I see something, Kermon. I'm gonna come back to your question. Let me get through these last couple bullet points and then I'm gonna open it up to you guys. All right? That pre-approved buyer leads challenge, that is something that is going to be a direct result of your home buyer seminars, guys. So we already talked about that in a couple months challenge before then. That is straightforward, but we want to make sure that we are intentional about keeping our foot on the gas, keeping our foot on the pedal so that these leads just continue to build and our pipeline is bursting by the time we get to that point. All right. October, postcards for multi-million-dollar challenge. We are not letting this go, guys. This is who we are as a brand. This is how we started before we were even Porterhouse. That is a market that we want to make sure that we establish our presence and solidify our position in. And we do that with you guys and everything that it is that you're intentionally directing your marketing endeavors to is what's going to produce the fruit that we need in that area. Okay. November recruiting challenge. Let's remember, for each one of you that recruits into Porterhouse, it is so much of a benefit to you to recruit to Porterhouse. And we can go through that training again. It benefits you in so many ways. It benefits you guys. Make sure that you're recruiting. That's the challenge for November. And then December will be the closing challenge. And of course, afterwards, we will see who our challenge winner is for, just the agent of the year. And from there, I will go ahead back to the chat. Thank you for allowing me to get through that. Does anybody have any other questions at the time? Kermon, I see you said, how about incorporating this in your buyer seminars? How to pay your mortgage off in 7 years? This can free. Oh yeah, definitely. I love that Kermon just said this because this is a conversation that we're having with our partners. So from a financial standpoint, when we have a buyer who comes in through Porterhouse, we remain connected with that buyer. We teach them certain strategies, paying off their mortgage. We teach them, that's so much, Kermon. There's so much there. I don't want to go into that because then we'd be on the line all afternoon. But yes, let's develop seminars like that also. The answer to that question is yes. All right. And then Maggie, I see you said, where are you? Are we able to have an open house at Porterhouse listings? Oh, yep. You already asked that question. The answer to that is
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Porter. You have to ask Mr. Porter all questions. Direct them to Mr. Porter, Mr. Porter.
I have a question.
Yes.
I want to ask my agents, and they can put it in the chat or they can come off mute. What's the average commission What's the commission? I'm not sure what's the average. What's the commission on $1 million listing? What's the commission on $1 million listing?
I think it's 24,000.
Close.
Somebody said 24,000. What's the commission on $1 million listing?
It should be higher than that though, right?
Higher by
Somebody,
how
I don't know,
much?
you
Tell
tell
us how
me.
much.
Tell me.
I would have said 54.
30,000, 30,000.
So
Total
whoever-
commission is
30,000.
6,000. I mean 60,000.
How
60,000.
much?
Total
So
commission
we
on
heard
million
one
dollars.
person say it.
I said 30.
Kermon gets the
It's
award for the right answer today. It's
I meant to say 60,000.
minimum.
And that's a full 6%.
Minimum.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a full
That's-
You get
6%.
the full.
I was doing the 30, I was doing the 3%.
Me too. But,
So
Yeah.
the 6% is
well, that's what I
60,000.
wanna get- Let me say this. Guys. That's my whole point in asking that question. I want you to get it out of your head that you're only gonna get half of the commission.
mhm.
We were taught in real estate class that you can't get both sides. You can't. Not in the state of Maryland.
DC
DC
and Virginia,
you
you
can.
can.
In Virginia,
Wow.
you can. But
Wow.
in Maryland, all you got to do is let one of your realty pros show your property.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You can't show it. You can't be the buyer's agent. Contact your team members. Contact your accountability partner. Make a deal with them. Say, hey, I can't do anything, but I'll refer my buyers that come through the listing to you, and in exchange, you can get the other half, or maybe you can do something different with them. But listen, get that out of your mind that I'm only going to get half of the deal. 60 grand. You're sitting on your hands. I'm afraid to call a $1 million person. They people too. They just regular old people.
Mhm.
They don't know how to sell real estate. That's why they need you. Call the $1 million. Listen, y'all know the story. Many of you who were here, and some of you are new. I tell it real quick. We had one agent. She's been in the game a long time. Jasmine Porter. I tell you, Jasmine tell you to do something, just do it. Told that person, I want you to cold call. Well, I don't like cold calling. She said, well, I'm going to make it sexy for you. Cold call millionaires only. He started cold calling millionaires only, got one person that wanted to list their house. That person that had to list their house, guess what? They wanted to buy another $1 million house. So now she got that side of the listing side, and then she got $1 million on the flips because the person needed to buy. That's $2 million right there from one person. Then if she would have got a buyer from one side and would have had worked something out with a listing from another side, that would have been $4 million listings if you're doing the math right. But the great thing is, like I told you, the person across the street saw her and saw how quickly she sold the house, and they called and said, hey, we want to sell our house too, and we only want to sell it with you. Get it out of your mind that you can only sell one side of a transaction. That's why we say per closed listing side. You can get all of the sides. If you sell $1 million home to an investor and you get the deal with that investor before you write the contract to get the home for him, if I get this house for you ratified, I want the listing contract when you fix it up and flip it. Then you put it on the market as a listing. You got the sale, then you got the listing. Now you get the buyer. You got three sides. When I saw Jasmine Porter do that, when I was still a school principal, I said, that's it, I'm done. She had a listing. She had a listing that nobody would buy. She called an investor. The investor bought the listing. Then she said to the investor, look, if you close this listing, when you get this property, I want you to write me the deal so that I can get the listing when you finish renovating it. They took that one level house and made it like a 3-story house.
Wow.
And then she got the listing on that, and then she was out there actively trying to get a buyer. It was like, I need some help. Can you get your real estate license, Mr. Porter? She didn't really ask me that, but that's what I was thinking. Like, I need to get my real estate license because I could have represented the buyer. That's why we have accountability partners. We keep telling you it's a system. Everything that we do in Porterhouse is systems that we've learned to maximize your potential. And you got to be looking at every time you get a listing. Don't be talking about I'm getting 3.5. I'm gonna figure out how to get that 6%. I'm gonna call Curtis. Hey, Curtis, I give you $700. You got to represent the buyers that I sent to you. He was like, 700. Give me 1,000. I ain't gonna give you 1,000. I give you 800. Now give me 1,100. Now I said, hold on, you can't go up. You supposed to go down. He said, you play your games, I play mine. That's what Curtis will tell me.
Everything's
But Curtis will
negotiable.
go find that buyer. Everything's negotiable.
Everything's negotiable.
That's why I don't talk to Curtis no more. But everything is negotiable. You're absolutely right. And I love it when Curtis do that too. It keeps me sharp. It keeps me on my toes. And I love it with marketing. And I love it with camera. I love it. I want people to always look, get your money in this business. And you guys have to also stop making excuses for these buyers. Oh, buyers don't have any money. There's an old saying, take me off a recording.
All right, Ms. Porter. So if you would pause for just a moment, we can open up the floor. Let's go ahead and end today's recording. Before we do, I just want to remind everybody about our mastermind training this evening. We have our very own Angela Skipper, who's going to be training this evening. Of course, it will be hybrid. Come on into the Upper Marlboro office so that you can join us here. If you are unable, only if you're unable, then you can join us via Zoom. So Anita, let's go ahead and stop the recording and then